Hey, good morning, Okie. Did you do okay through the weekend with storms? I didn't keep up with anything, but did you have any more storms? I was busy with my little man. Oh, I had a great time with him. I was so tired on Friday night after working all day and then driving. It took me almost 3 hours to get to him. And then we had to stop and eat and then get back home. So we were tired. Good morning, Glory. A lot of rain. Well, that's better than a nader. Yeah, so Gloria, I was back in Virginia yesterday for a very short time. All right, car. You're supposed to let people merge. I didn't even leave the airport. I got off the plane, delivered my special package at the gate, and then got right back on the plane. I was on the ground maybe 30 minutes altogether, was sitting on the plane and taxiing. But at least the weather was nice. I do have to tell you there was a traumatic thing that happened on the plane yesterday, and I'm still traumatized from it. I'm surprised it didn't make the news, but oh my, I'm just not sure what happened. But oh, hold on, let me get on the road here, and then I'll tell you what happened. So I had an aisle seat, and I heard someone behind me, which would be the next row, but the aisle seat across from me, coughed. And when it just made me turn around, it wasn't I was being nosy thing, so I turned around, and it was a person who had long braids, and they were bent over, spitting up a hawker, you know. So I'm like, well, I hope they're not really sick because they're really close to me. So then we land. I stand up to, get out of my seat to proceed out of the plane, and I just glanced back. I don't know why I even glanced back, but that same person who coughed earlier was sitting there with her pants. The waistband of her pants was down mid-thigh, and she was bare from the bosoms down to her thighs. Just sitting there like it was just another day on an airplane. And I'm just not sure what was going on with her. But there she was, naked as a jaybird. Nobody said anything around her. Nobody like, oh my God, girl, what are you doing? I don't know if she wasn't mentally right. I don't know if she thought that was the fashion. Did she walk in? She couldn't have walked on the plane like that. So what made her proceed to pull her pants down? I don't know. She was a big girl, so you couldn't see anything. So I don't know whether she truly had underwear on or not, but she was naked from the bosoms down to her mid-thigh. And the waistband of her sweatpants was down there. Because my first thought was, oh, she's doing the trend like the guys do that wear the boxers, but like, no, those pants are way too far. So I don't know what was going on with her. I thought for sure somebody would have got a video or something that was sitting back that way. It was quite disturbing. So I had to get back on that plane to come home after I dropped my grandson off at the gate. I had to turn around and come back, and I did go up and say, please make sure you clean seat, blah, blah, blah. And the girl goes, oh yeah, we know, we cleaned it well. Maybe, Gloria, that could be it. She was claiming her womanhood. It was just disturbing. I mean, I'm sure if she stood up, you would have seen more. But what if she was a... Man, look at that. Sorry, look at that boat with all those engines on there. Is that engines? 4 engines? 4 propellers? That's a little crazy. But yeah, if there were kids around, that would be disturbing for them to see. Luckily, my grandson was a row in front, so he didn't see any of it. But, man, it was disturbing as an adult that somebody would just do that. I'm not against nudity or whatever, but it just in an airplane, it's just not appropriate. But yeah, my only thought was the seat, the poor person in the seat that gets the seat next. Unknowingly. Yeah, I had my eye on you, little buddy. Be careful. Don't be switching the lanes. Yeah, me too. I'm all for nudity, but just not on the plane that I'm riding on. You're right. Hey, Colette. Maybe she was looking for, takers for the Mile High Club, and she was just like ready to go. I don't know. I just don't know. I just can't imagine that nobody said anything, or there was like, any kind of sound to even bring my attention, because she was sitting right behind me. Good morning, Faith. Hey, Carrie. You guys missed it. I said I had to fly my grandson to Florida. We landed, and the row behind me, I was in the aisle seat, and the row behind me, the aisle seat that would be opposite of me, I glanced back as I stood up to get out of my seat, and the girl sitting there with her sweatpants, the waistband was mid-thigh. So she was naked from her boobas to her mid-thigh. And I'm not sure how she got that way. If she pulled them down mid-flight, why she was sitting there like that, I don't know. But it was quite an experience. Oh, the flight was full, Gloria. The plane was full. There were 2 people sitting beside of her, and there was somebody in the aisle seat behind me, that whole row. And why there was not some sort of confrontation or, hey lady, why are you doing that? I don't know. Unless our society has just gotten to the point where it just, it's like, oh my God, this is just another crazy. And she wasn't a young person. I mean, everyone knows you don't take your clothes off. Well, unless you're going to the Mile High Club, you don't take your clothes off on a. I mean, that could be too, Colette, that people were just like, I don't want to get involved. But still, it just was just strange. I mean, I can't even fathom the reason why her pants would be pulled down. And she was just sitting there. No one's like, here's a blanket, let me cover you up, nothing. I'm not even sure what. There couldn't have been attention drawn because I'm sure a flight attendant would have found a blanket or something to cover her lap up with or make her pull her pants up or something. Right, Colette, you speak up when you've got to. Okay. But I'm sure that there were probably more children on the plane back behind me. So, I don't know whether she stood up, and I don't know what happened to her because, we were the row in front of her, so we got off the plane. But I don't know. I mean, maybe she had some sort of medical issue. I mean, I don't know. Could she have been diabetic and her blood sugar dropped low and she got confused and pulled her pants down? I don't know. It was just the strangest thing. I'm surprised it didn't make the news. I'm surprised somebody didn't have a video camera out, took a video. I heard that U-Haul that it was a shit show last night. That's just a shame. AGRE and U-Haul this morning. Good morning. Yeah, it's going to get ugly. Who was it that was there causing the trouble last night? Was it one of the critters? Oh, are you serious, Carrie? They moved it up to the day earlier, what, to throw everybody off? Is that what it was? Ah, my signal's really low. Hang tight. They're just disgusting. Now let Mr. Police Officer over. He was right on my tail, kissing my butt, breaking the speed limit. Oh, I did. I had an absolute blast. He did well with the doggy going to heaven part. We talked about it because I walked him out and I showed him, and we talked about it, and so he took it well. We had deep conversation, but oh no, there's so many swamp monsters there, U-Haul. It's crazy. It's just definitely a den of evil. And they're not hiding. Well, thank goodness no mulch in the road today. I see you, Red. Good morning, Gary. Oh, they were like out on the street behind her. Maybe not everybody could see you. I could see you. Okay. I mean, do they have the umbrellas too? Is that what you're saying? I haven't been able to watch the vigil for a little while, so I need to start getting. I just have crazy evenings, but yeah, I need to start tuning back in. Well, we're actually passing the cross on the opposite side of the road, but you can't see it. So let's pray for all this evilness to be just squished, to be put out of commission, to be stopped, whatever it takes, that this evilness ends and good wins really soon. Let's pray for Mama Mickey, because she's got to have the strength and endurance of a a tank because they come at her all the time. I mean, so much more than I'm sure we even see or hear. So thank goodness for her being the guidance to lead the way on that mission. And there's our big fake tree to the left, if y'all can see it, standing tall. I guess it is a pretty cool idea versus it just being a big tall pole, that it's just a big tall fake tree now. Why is Glory B in trouble? Okay, I'll go back and watch last night's vigil. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's pray for his court to go the way it needs to go and not he get off. Hey Jason. Hopefully Tish is feeling better. Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha, U-Haul. My aunt sent me a picture last evening. It was just a random picture. It was this guy in sweats standing, looked like at a checkout, and then another woman in like a restaurant or something. And she goes, who does this look like? And I'm like, I don't know. You know, I'm looking, I'm like, well, I said, it kind of looks like Chris Stapleton. And she goes, yeah, we were having lunch. And she told me where they were having lunch yesterday. And she said he came in to get a pickup, you know, to pick up his order, and stood there for like 15 or 20 minutes waiting on his order. And they snuck a picture of him. Well, I said, well, that was very cool. For those of you who know who Chris Stapleton is, he's a well-known country singer, but he's the one that just sang the national anthem that blew up YouTube for his rendition of it. Oh, you got to see her yesterday. That's great. Yeah, so I got the picture of him in sweats. It's really different to see him that way. He lives just down the road from my cousin. She lives they live near Nashville, and she's got a lot of stars that lives real close to her. A lot of people, unless they listen to country music, didn't know who he was, but then a lot more people learned who he was when he sang the national anthem, and I think he did a really good job. I liked his version of it. I watched a lot of reaction videos to him singing the national anthem. I think she means she knows who he is very well. I don't think she means she knows him, but you never know. a little traffic issue up here. We'll see. Oh, that's interesting, Carrie. Yeah, I think they do things, bad things, so people don't see you. And then they blame it on the algorithm. Yep, traffic woes. I love it. They say that the traffic issue's on the right-hand lane, but then the left-hand lane is not going anywhere. And the right-hand lane was moving. All right, let's keep it rolling. Oh, good for you, Jason. So you went to Dollywood and got to see Tish. Well, that's good. Oh, that's right, Gary. Absolutely. Should never waste a tater. Yep, something's going on here. It used to be bad like this every single day before the big C. I sat in bumper to bumper traffic most all the route that I would come before the big C. Now I want taters, Gary. It's all your fault. I was at a stoplight on Saturday and there was a Tesla in front of me and the light turned green and he took off. I was quite impressed with the power from an electric car. I mean, he took off like he was definitely 0 to 60 and like he was gone. By the time I crested the hill, he was gone. So I was impressed with the electric car power. Now, I don't know how much of his power he used up with that super breakout at the intersection, but or if it uses more power when you go fast, but oh, isn't that interesting, Carrie? Hey, Sugar Woo. Oh, so you enjoyed the new coaster. I know you just couldn't wait to get there, could you? Well, some of y'all missed my story this morning, so I have to tell you again because it was traumatizing. That I flew my grandson back to Virginia yesterday, and then I flew right back to Orlando. But when we landed in Virginia, I was in an aisle seat. When we landed, you know, you get up, you stand up to get off the plane, and when I glanced back, the row right behind me, but the aisle seat opposite me, the girl was sitting there with her pants pulled down around her thighs, like mid thigh, not just a little bit thigh, but mid thigh. She had like sweatpants on, and the waistband was at her mid thigh. She was naked from her boobies to her mid thigh. Now, she was a big girl, but she was naked, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm still a little traumatized and perplexed as to why she was sitting there naked and nobody spoke up and said anything. Or why they didn't make her pull her pants back up, or what was going on. I just have no idea. Oh, bus, I was trying to get out of your way. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. What is it with the trucks going through downtown? Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I turned around and I had to glance a second time because I'm like, I first thought, oh, she must be doing like the style with where the guys ride their pants down around their ass, you know. But I'm like, she ain't got no panties on. Couldn't see any panties. There wasn't no fashion thing. She just sitting there with her pants down around her mid thighs. And when I say mid thigh, mid thigh. I just don't know how long she'd been that way. Why people didn't say anything. She was bare naked from her boobs to her mid thigh. Now she was a big girl, so I couldn't see anything because it was hidden from, the rolls. I'm trying not to be mean, but from her rolls. But there was nothing there. I couldn't see any underwear, nothing. I mean, so her top was covered, but she was naked from the boobs to her mid thigh, just sitting in the seat like that. And nobody said a word. No one reacted. I don't know at what point she had to have come on the plane with her pants up. So at what point did she pull her pants down? And why didn't somebody say something? Were people too afraid to speak up and say something? There were people sitting, her whole row was full. I mean, I was getting off the plane, and by that point it was too late. But if I would have noticed beforehand, I probably would have at least rang the flight attendant, because I had a child with me. Hope she didn't fart. Maybe she had a mess in her pants. I don't know. But I had, a small child with me. I'm sure there were small children. Well, I know there was a whole big family of children behind me. Um, oh, Red, you missed that? I said on the flight back, on the flight back to Virginia when I got to get off the plane, the person in the aisle seat opposite me, but one row behind me, when I glanced back, she was sitting with her pants down mid-thigh. She had like black sweatpants on, and the waistband was at her mid-thigh. And she was naked from her boobies to her mid-thigh, and I'm just not sure why. I just still cannot understand why she was sitting there naked. And she was like in her 40s. The only thing I can think of is maybe she wanted, the Mile High Club, and she was looking for takers. I don't know. I don't know, drugs, something like that. I said maybe was she diabetic and got confused and pulled her pants down. I mean, I don't I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And she was on an aisle row, so you would think somebody would have noticed her nakedness, especially like the row behind her. It was just very bizarre. Well, maybe the waist was too tight for her, but So I would have given her the little blanket I had to cover her cooch, but I know, but and what was bad was earlier I heard someone cough, and my automatic response was to turn around. And when I turned around, and this is the only other, you know, other time I saw her was she was bent over, leaning forward, but she had these long braids that covered her, and she was coughing up a big hawker. And I didn't notice her nakedness then. I mean, I would have thought that I would have noticed the nakedness, but maybe not. I said she was a big girl, U-Haul. But I guess no takers. But I did go up because I had to drop off my grandson to his mom at the gate. I did go up right before they started boarding and said, please clean seat, blah, 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 really well. And they go, and this was just confirmation that I hadn't had, that what I saw was correct. She goes, oh, yes, we've cleaned it well. So I don't know what happened with the girl. I don't know. If she just pulled her pants up and walked off the plane or what, I don't know. It is so weird. I'm telling you, it did. I'm just like, I don't know whether it was the shock still of seeing that, or like, I mean, I know there's crazy people out there. I just, on a plane, sitting there with your pants pulled down, unless that's something we've got to look forward to, and she's just one of the first ones, one of the zombies. I don't know. I think Gloria said maybe she was just trying to show her, her femininity. I don't know. Maybe she wanted everyone to see she was a girl. I don't know. Well, I flew Spirit last week and I flew Frontier this week. All right, everyone. This is my light. So you have that nice visual for the rest of the day today that I had from yesterday. So, but everyone have a good day. Thanks for riding along with me. Um, do your random act of kindness and spread some love. And have some taters. All right. Talk to y'all later.